Hey guys, it's Monmon and welcome to today's launch stream. Today we are launching the first member to kickstart our newest Silent Hill lineup, Red Pyramid Thing Resin Statue. Now he first appeared in Silent Hill 2 and since then has been an iconic character that any fan of horror games would recognize instantly. So being such a recognizable character with such distinct features, our team had a lot of work cut out for them when it came to adapting this character from video game to real life. Now considering Silent Hill 2 was released back in 2001 for PlayStation 2, the colors used in the game was difficult to replicate. But you know our team, who are relentless as always, really came through. I'm so excited to show you guys, so without further ado, here he is! He looks terrifying, grotesque, and that's exactly what we are going for. The game was designed to have psychological horror that shakes humans' heart, and that's what our team hopes to do with Red Pyramid Thing, to remind us all the fear he made us feel when we played the game. First, let's talk about his pose. He's standing legs apart, right hand is wielding the scary great knife, and his left hand is outstretched in a creepy manner. The game wanted to create something that would really disturb the game players whilst attracting them, something with an aura of mystery. And with Red Pyramid Thing's pose here, he doesn't reveal anything in terms of motive or feeling, but what our team wanted the pose to convey here is the mysterious yet terrifying aura that has attracted many fans of the game. The horrifying creatures in Silent Hill 2 has a human aspect. Thus, you can see our team has replicated an anatomically accurate muscle definition on Red Pyramid Thing's arm through sculpting, though the skin color is more akin to the color of rotting, dirty flesh. Now, the paint job on the arms of this thing really defines the muscles and the disgusting nature of all things in the other world of Silent Hill. The color of the arms look gray with a greenish tone, and our team used brown charcoal to define the muscles as well as add dimension to the overall look of the arm. The addition of rusty reds also helped to create the blood-stained, bruised-up look that we see Red Pyramid Thing sporting in the game. Another detail of his arms are the gashes that are sculpted into each arm. Our team added a glossy finish in the gashes to show that what you're seeing is underneath Red Pyramid Thing's skin. Having those parts glisten just adds to the gross factor, which I'm sure horror fans are loving, because I am. Another grotesque part of Red Pyramid Thing is a tumor-like flesh that's oozing out from the back of his cast iron helmet. Now, considering his head is covered and we are never shown its true face, seeing this piece of flesh in the back allows for our imagination to go wild on how horrific it must be underneath the mask. The sculpting on that little bit of flesh makes it look as if it's bubbling from underneath the helmet. The definitions of the fleshy bubble is achieved through using dark reds and browns in between the nooks and crannies. It also gives a bruised, dirty look to the flesh, which is consistent with the aesthetic of Red Pyramid Thing in the video game. Moving on to the executioner robes Red Pyramid Thing is wearing here. As usual, our team made sure to include the natural fabric wrinkles and folds to replicate how fabric would look stretched on a human figure standing like this. Now, if you close up on the robes, you can see the fine texture that emulates the material we believe the robes may be made in if it were real. Now, another detail you'd see is how the robes go down all the way into Red Pyramid Thing's boots-like pants, making it seem like a jumpsuit. The look of the bloodstains was done through using different shades of dark reds and browns, which helps to give note of how old the blood may be. Now, the shades perfectly imitate oxidized blood, which can only give hints to just how much Red Pyramid Thing may have killed as a character. Now, the darker colors used really makes the blood look as if it's been soaking for a while. From the colors to the placement of the stains have proved to be difficult during the painting process, as our team wanted to get the colors and look as accurate to the Silent Hill 2 game as possible. Now, considering it was a PS2 era game, that proved to be pretty challenging. I mean, he's an executioner robe, so it goes without saying that the execution of his outfit had to be accurate, which I believe our team has done so gruesomely. Fine details such as the two straps as well as the zipper down the back has been replicated. The ends of the straps are slightly lifted to show a sense of movement. The buckles have been sculpted to look three-dimensional and dark colors have been added to them as well as the straps, so they look more dirty and stained. Now, the only part of Red Pyramid Thing outfit that looks slightly cleaner than the rest are his gloves, which are white with red stains, which helps to express how used they are. And of course, the definition of the fingers and natural wrinkles on the gloves are done through sculpting. Red Pyramid Thing's robes are tucked into the boots, which are painted with a black color with a slight sheen, so as to imitate rubber, which we believe the boots may be made in. Now, the sides of the sole have stitching details in a lighter color, and the inclusion of this feature helps to adapt this video game character into real life. Moving on to his weapon. He is wielding the great knife on his right hand. Our team had the great knife sculpted and painted with dark gray colors to imitate a metal that's been weathered. Now, there's use of red specks all over the blade to show how it's been used in various bloody manners. Now, the way that the paint is applied really gives the knife that weathered, aged look, so as to replicate the texture that we've seen in the video game. And if the details on a great knife doesn't strike fear into your hearts, no worries. We've finally come down to the detail that you've all been waiting for. The reason he's called Red Pyramid Thing? His pyramid-shaped cast iron helmet, right here. The game wanted to make a monster with his head covered, so it'd be more disturbing, and it has become one of the most iconic features in horror. First of all, it goes without saying that it is not real cast iron, but it looks like cast iron thanks to our team's paint job, which perfectly imitates the textures and the colors of his helmet in the video game. Now our team made sure to sculpt the helmet and maintain the angular shape seen in the game. It was imperative that we didn't mess with the overall shape of the helmet because the sharpness of the helmet was used to suggest the possibility of pain. Now on the helmet, there are many circular dents on the surface of the triangular plates that form the helmet. Some of those dents aren't perfect circles but look almost like open wounds that got infected, which definitely sits well with the aesthetics of Silent Hill that many are familiar with. Now, the edges on each triangle plate that forms the helmet is slightly raised to avoid looking flat. The bottom pieces that form the frame the triangle pieces are attached to also have an edge that's been sculpted to look three-dimensional. Now on the edges, there's texture that imitates the look of welded metal. The bottom edge at the bottom of the helmet is also slightly bent upwards to show that it's been used and isn't perfect. Now, there's also a metal ring at the top of the helmet that looks especially shiny against the weathered, blood-stained helmet. The blood-stained look on the helmet is different from the executioner robes because there's more reds from not only the blood but also from the rust, as it is a cast iron helmet in the video game. The color scheme used for the helmet does a good job of imitating the textures seen on the helmet in the video game. Now I really like that you can see the welding marks because it really helps to emulate the material used in the video game, which is metal. Now honestly, the helmet is uncanny to the video game counterpart, and I guess you can say that it's on point. Okay, the pun's bad, but the accuracy of the helmet is great. To pair with Red Pyramid Thing is a triangular base inspired by the boss fight between the main character in Silent Hill 2, James, and two Red Pyramid Things. Now the triangular shape is reminiscent of the iconic pyramid-shaped helmet that Red Pyramid Thing sports. Now the top of the base was inspired by the carpet seen in the boss fight. You can see that the carpet has been sculpted to look raised in some areas and not completely flat, to emulate a carpet that has not been perfectly laid. Now the sides of the carpet are sculpted to look slightly torn so as to better imitate the idea of a carpet being laid on top of the floor. Now the sides of the base are inspired by the frame on the door seen in the boss fight. It's 2 planks on each side of the triangle along with 6 bolts on each plank. Now the planks have been painted with dark grays and hints of black to give the stained metal look. Now at the back of the base, right here, there are 9 red squares arranged in a 3x3 cube formation, which is a replication of the save points seen in the video game. Now this detail is something anyone who has played the game can relate to, and it's always nice to add a detail that players can recall. Now the entire base uses the similar concept, but the overall finish achieved keeps from distracting the eyes from Red Pyramid Thing. The standard edition of Red Pyramid Thing is terrifying as it is, but if you guys would like to have more options on how to display him, look no further than the exclusive edition of Red Pyramid Thing. There we go! According to Lost Memories, Silent Hill Chronicle, a document on the reverse side of an actual book released by Konami, Silent Hill 3 Official Perfect Capture Guide, Red Pyramid Thing wields a great knife and spear. So with the exclusive edition of Red Pyramid Thing, we've included both the great knife and the spear, which are interchangeable depending on your preference. Now the spear is wielded by the right hand as well, but it is held in a manner that looks as if Red Pyramid Thing is ready to strike. Now the long handle of the spear has a similar finish to the great knife, in the sense that it looks like weathered metal, which is a look achieved through the paint job. Now a darker rusty red is used to imitate weathered iron. The texture is also emulated through the placement of the paints. The end of the spear has a round base that connects it to the handle of the spear. Now the round base of the spear end has been painted to have a slight sheen, almost to show that it may be a different material than the handle if it were made in real life. Now the end of the spear is sculpted to look like a cone with thin tips, so to further emphasize how lethal the weapon is supposed to be if it were real. Now the tip doesn't use as dark of a color as the rest of the spear, but it has red paint that imitates blood stains. The red use is lighter than that of which you see on the ropes of the great knife. So depending on your interpretation, you can choose to display him as if he just striked with the spear or as if he is stalking you with the great knife. Both equally terrifying and able to shake humans' heart. A challenge that our team faced with this edition were the arms. Since the interchangeable weapons are detached at the shoulder, it was difficult to make sure that the arms would be the same size when interchanging between the 2 poses. We of course could not have one arm longer or one hand be larger than the other. It was a challenge engineering-wise, but our team pulled through, and now you guys can change the pose and the story with ease. Now, small thing to note, the exclusive edition will have the same base design as the standard edition. With that, let's watch a recap of the features in both the standard and exclusive edition of Red Pyramid Thing. And now, introducing the definitive edition of Red Pyramid Thing Resin Statue. And we are back with Drishti from our marketing team.
Hey guys, I'm here to help introduce the definitive edition of Red Pyramid Thing,
which depicts the classic scene after James defeats the two Red Pyramid Things in the boss fight.
So, to present this classic cutscene, we've included a spear handle that is attached at the base, extending to underneath the helmet. This emulates the scene where the two Red Pyramid Things impale themselves. With this spear handle, you can see the length of it on full display, and our team used the same technique during painting to imitate the textures of weathered material as well as the color seen in Silent Hill 2.
Yep, and along with the spear is a separate right arm in the same pose as the left one. The sculpting of the arms are different on the right arm as it is no longer holding something in the hand. So the muscle definitions have also been adapted for the different pose of the arms, so as to maintain the integrity for anatomical accuracy.
As expected, our team put in a lot of effort to make sure each part would fit properly and that the ratio and size of the interchangeable parts make sense, which is why including the two outstretched arms was a challenge for our team. And speaking of interchangeable parts, the definitive edition includes both the interchangeable knife and the spear. So now you've got 4 options to display your statue.
You can either present Red Pyramid Thing in his terrifying stalking pose,
or present him in his ready to strike pose next to your most prized belongings so no one will ever come near.
Or you can display him in his self-impaled pose to represent James finally facing his guilty conscience after murdering his wife Mary and thus vanquishing what is essentially the personification of James' mind, which encompasses...
Okay! TED Talk's over, Mon Mon.
Sorry. Let us know in the comments how you want to display Red Pyramid Thing.
Back to the statue. This definitive edition of Red Pyramid Thing will of course include the great knife and spear from the standard and exclusive editions.
So with that, let's watch a recap of all the features in the definitive edition of Red Pyramid Thing.
And then we'll do the pricing. Roll the clip!
And we are back to announce the pricing. For the standard edition of Red Pyramid Thing, the price is as follows and will be available for pre-order on our website, first4figures.com, and at your local retailer.
For the exclusive edition of Red Pyramid Thing, the price is as follows and will be available for pre-order only on our website, first4figures.com. This edition comes with an interchangeable arm wielding a spear.
And finally, for the definitive edition of Red Pyramid Thing, the price is as follows and will be available for pre-order only on our website, first4figures.com. This edition comes with the great knife, with an interchangeable arm wielding a spear, 2 additional outstretched arms, and a spear handle. To recap, these are the prices for all editions. All prices indicated here exclude local taxes and shipping. So, prices for the EU, UK, and Australia regions will look different on our website as they are already inclusive of sales tax. We are running an early bird offer that will last for 2 weeks from today, so be sure to place your orders quickly within that time frame to take advantage of this limited time offer. For website pre-orders, we offer payment plans with no extra fees for those who wish to purchase in installments. We have warehouses in the following locations, which means no import fees for these regions. Shipping costs to your country are estimated at checkout. The final cost will be shown on the invoice, which will be sent to your registered email when your order is ready to ship. Thank you for joining us in our launch stream for our Red Pyramid Thing resin statue. Check us out on our website, first4figures.com, for more details, and follow us on our social media channels so you don't miss out on future Silent Hill news and teasers. For instance, if you aren't subscribed to our channel, you may miss this video and miss the chance of knowing that we've got the horrific bubblehead nurse lined up. And yes, that is an exclusive right there.
That's right! We also have an amazing community on Facebook called the First 4 Figures Official Collectors Club, where we chat with our members, run polls, post behind-the-scenes content, giveaways, and much more. So don't forget to check us out. Lastly, pre-orders are now open. Links are in the description.
And that concludes today's launch stream. Thanks guys for joining us today. F4F is love.
F4F is life.
And we shall see you in the next one. Bye!
See ya!